I'm Andrew Phillips and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be installing a plug-in garbage disposal here on a kitchen sink. So let's go ahead and get started. What we have here, this is a sink with two sides and they're both just regular drains. The builder did not install a garbage disposal, so it's not that we're replacing one that was already existing. This is one that never had one. If we come underneath here, this is what it looks like. Now we do have a receptacle back there which was installed by the builder for the dishwasher. So that's easy because we're going to be plugging our switch into there. If you don't have that, you're going to need to install one, which I'm not going to be showing in this video. Pretty much if you had an existing garbage disposal that was hardwired, you can take the hardwired connection and then pretty much pick up a junction box and put the plug on it, mount it here on the inside. But for this video, I'm not showing that, unfortunately. And if you do have a situation like this, but you don't have a receptacle, a lot of times behind your dishwasher, which in this case is right here, the builder has it coming through right there, so that's easy. If not, you may have a receptacle back here, and then you would just have to drill through here to make the connections that we're going to show. But for this one, we have that existing, and we're going to be using just an air push on and off switch. I've already made a mount here just because for this cabinet, we're going to need that. I'm not going to show how to do that because in some cases you may not need that. But if that's the case, you will need to beef this up to hold it, because if not, you're going to have too much of the switch coming through. And then once you push your dishwasher, as you can see, I pulled this one out, it's going to hit it. So you need to pretty much accommodate for that. But since each situation is different, I've already set mine up this way, and we're going to pick it up where we're going to be taking this apart, installing the garbage disposal, making all the connections and the switch, and then trying it. These are the items that you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need your garbage disposal. This particular one is a 1/2 horsepower. I picked it up on Amazon. I'll have the link down in the description if you want to buy that as well. It's fairly inexpensive, but it is a good one here. You are going to need this kit also right here. And it says garbage disposal air switch. That's what you're going to want because this plug is going to plug into the receptacle, and it gives you a receptacle here that's controlled by the push switch. And if we look here, that's normally chrome. It just has a protective film on it, but you will need this kit. You're also going to need here Phillips screwdriver. You'll also need a flathead screwdriver, and you'll also need this adjustable wrench. And then what I have here is some plumber's tape we're going to take, because we're going to take the trap off. You're going to want to put that on the threads. And then also what you're going to need is I have here is just some clear silicone that we're going to put around here. You can also use some plumber's putty as well to do that. But this is everything that you're going to need here to complete this. Here's everything unpacked for the garbage disposal. In addition, you also have this little installation guide that gives you the basic layout on how you want to set it up. Open this up here. And then if we look in here, here's our switch. Okay, we'll pull this all out. Okay, and the switch comes wrapped in here. So let's unpackage that. And then we'll remove this protective film that we talked about earlier. So we'll just peel that off. That just protects the chrome from getting scratched up. There we go. This is the air line. So that'll be the connection that goes from the switch to the actual box to power it off and on with the air pressure. And that's pretty much going to connect right here. And we'll show you that in a minute, how we connect that. And then this right here will plug into our receptacle. On the back here, this has adhesive, so it'll mount to the inside of the cabinet. And this is for the garbage disposal. It'll plug in right there. So if we unscrew this, now we'll take the air hose or air line, we'll run it through this nut. You're going to slide it right over this male piece right there. So we're going to slide that over it, and I will push it down. Want to make sure you push it all the way down until it won't go any further. You want it nice and tight over that. So we have that on there. Push it good. And then now we'll bring that nut, and you're going to go ahead and screw that on as tight as you can get it. And that's going to pinch it in place so it won't come out. There we go. Just keep tightening it. And there we go. So it won't move anymore. So now it's locked in place. And then this can now slide through. And then we'll mount that under the cabinet. So if we bring it in here, we're going to slide it right through this opening. Feed it all the way through. And we'll get it on the other side where the dishwasher is going to go. But we'll pull it through. And then we can feed this switch in here. And I just put some double-sided tape just to stick it on there because you can't get to the threads. But you can see how it pushes through. It's nice and solid in there. If we come here on this side, you can see where it's coming through. Now, I've drilled another hole that we're going to feed it back in because we need to be able to bring it around to the actual, to that switch box. So you can see right there, I drilled that small hole. We're going to pull that all through. And you don't want to leave any slack because when you put the dishwasher back in place, you don't want to be crimping it or pinching it back there. So now we'll grab it on this end, pull it all the way through, and then we'll mount our box right there, and then we'll feed that line into it here. So just as we did it on the switch, same thing. We're going to put it in, and then we have it all tightened down the same way we did on the other one. So now the whole connection is secure. So now we'll take this adhesive, we'll mount it here on the inside of the cabinet. You want to make sure you clean that surface really good, which I already did. Push it down real nice and secure. And then now we can take this box and we'll just bring it right there and just hang it right on the wall. And you can put a screw up top if you want to lock it on, but I just left it like that. And that's how it looks when it's all installed. So now we have all that connected. You can see how it comes through the other side. We'll pull that through to get it tighter. And then now we can go ahead and put the garbage disposal in place. So the first thing we need to do is we need to disconnect right here. That's the drain from the dishwasher. That's going to have to go into the garbage disposal. And then we need to remove the trap right here. And the garbage disposal will go in this place. And then we'll reconnect everything in there. We'll have to pop that off and put the new one in as well. If we come up here up top, you can see all this is going to be replaced because we won't need that. Because right now we have that mesh, you're going to have an opening for the garbage disposal. That whole piece is going to all be replaced with a new one. Make sure to save the slip joint nut and polyethylene rubber washer as shown here so we can connect it to the garbage disposal. If they're in bad shape, you're going to want to replace them with new, but if not, you can reuse them. Next, we're going to want to come here and remove this drain nut so we can remove the drain assembly and pop it out from the top. Sometimes these can be tight, so you want to bang it out. I'm just using the pliers here, but you could also use a hammer. Just give it a few good whacks. It'll come out. There we go. And then now we can pull this out. And you can see all that putty in there. We need to clean all that out so it's nice and clean before we put the new one in. I'm just using my flathead screwdriver, but you can use a scraper as well. But you do want to make sure that you clean it off really good. You don't want to leave any residue, especially right in those corners right there where you have the that bend right there. You can see a little bit in there. You want to make sure you clean all of that out. And then I'm not showing it here, but I'm also going to wipe it out as well with some cleaner, get it nice and clean. So now that everything's been cleaned off nice, we're ready to put the clear silicone or plumbing putty in place so we can drop the new drain assembly in. All right, so next we're going to disassemble this mounting assembly here. So here on the back, we have 3 screws. Got to loosen these off here. I'm actually going to take all this apart and then we'll be back. Next, you have this ring that needs to be loosened. So if we see right here, I'm just going to take this flathead screwdriver, and if you kind of work along the bottom, right here, you can just pop it up, And here we go, that comes out. And now this whole assembly will come apart. Okay, and now we can mount these in place. We're going to take our clear silicone and we're going to do a strip here going all along the entire drain area where the drain assembly will be slipped into place. And you don't want to put it on too heavy to where when you press the drain assembly in, it's oozing out, but you do want to have a perfect seal going all around with no gaps. Now we can take our drain, we can drop it in, press it firmly in place. There we go. Now we can head underneath and connect everything up. We're going to start by putting on the rubber washer or cardboard washer in place, depending on what yours came with. Some cases you might have both. And then after that, we can mount the rest of the assembly and then attach the locking ring onto the bottom. So here's the assembly. And I put the locking ring already on as well. You can see everything is nice and tightened on here. Next, we need to tighten down these 3 screws, but we need to make sure that we match up the ring properly. So let me get a close-up. So you can see here there's a J, and then there was an H. So we need to match up the 2 J's. So if we look here, and let's see. Let's move this. And let's come here. Let me stop shaking this camera. But you can see right there is a TM. And if we look here on that ring, that's also a TM. So these are in the right spot. So we're going to want to move this a little bit. I got to match this up so we can tighten the screw down properly. All right, so there we go. Everything's in place. So now we can hand tighten these screws. Now that they're all in the right spot so the rings match up properly. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take our flathead screwdriver and tighten them down completely tight. Okay, so we have everything attached for the assembly, and that's now ready for the garbage disposal to connect to. Everything has been tightened up. You can see the gasket seal up there is all good. Let me get a side view so you can take a look at it. There you go. You can see how tight it is there. And let's head up here to the top so we can take a look in here. And you can see all this is nice and tight and sealed as well. Let's attach the garbage disposal now. So on the inside of the garbage disposal, where the dishwasher drain connects to, there's a plastic plug you can see right there. We're going to need to bang that out before we connect everything. And I'll just take a flathead screwdriver and we'll knock it out and then we can install it. Now that we've knocked it out, you don't want to leave it in there. So I'm going to just take my hand, reach in there, pull that plug out, make sure there's no other plastic in there, and then we're good to go with this. Next, we're also going to add the drain pipe to this, and then that will connect to the trap. So let's take all the pieces out. There's our drain pipe there. Then we have our mounting plate and the screws. Get those out as well. All right, now we're going to start off by taking our rubber gasket. We're going to put that in place. Make sure you press it down good. Then we'll take our plate, slide that over the drain pipe. And then we're going to just hand tighten these to start with. Our screws, we'll hand tighten them in place. Want to make sure this is straight. You don't want to cross thread anything. All right, now we'll come down, we'll tighten these with our screwdriver. Make sure that's straight. And then now we'll come down and tighten it all the way down. You want to make sure that that gasket really gets squashed down in place and get this nice and tight. That way you're not having anything leaking out. Okay. These are nice and tight and secure. There we go. Next, we're going to slide our coupling nut onto the drain pipe because we'll need that to tighten it down onto the trap. And you're also going to want to slide the polyethylene seal onto the drain pipe as well. Now here's everything together. I wasn't able to show me attaching the garbage disposal onto the rings because of me needing both hands. But as you can see, it's up here now and attached. Now we will need to tighten it. You'll need to rotate it clockwise all the way. And as you can see here, it kind of slides on that track and it kind of tightens it up as you rotate it up there. So you want to make sure that you tighten it firmly and make sure that it's tightened all around. You can see that. Next, we're going to attach the dishwasher drain hose, and we'll tighten these hose clamps all the way. There we go. Everything is nice and tight. And now we do have this drain pipe that now goes into the trap, but as you can see, the drain pipe that it came with is way too long. So I'm going to need to take this and cut it down shorter so that way it'll fit properly and go down into that pipe right there. What I had to do is cut about 1.5 inches off. So now you can see it needs to mount. I'll show you right there. And it'll drop right into that trap nicely. So that'll fit good now that we've cut that piece off. And basically to show you what I did is depending how your pipes are, you may have to rotate your garbage disposal. I had to turn it here more to the left. Since we have double sinks going on under here, we also have a water filtration system, just a lot going on underneath. We had to rotate it. So the dishwasher drain was originally on the other side, but we had to pull it around so we could make it reach. Luckily, we had enough slack on this. What you don't want to do is have it to where you're bending it and creating a kink and crimping it, and then you're obstructing the water flow on this thing. So now we're going to put the drain pipe in. You can see how it lines up nice right here. I need to add the rubber gasket back inside since we had to take it off. And here you can see here, lines up good. So we have the drain pipe here. You can see we have the coupling on there. And then our rubber seal all together. What you want is you want the tapered edge facing towards the bottom. So it'll go into the trap. And when we tighten down the nut, it'll create a nice tight seal going into that. Put our rubber gasket in place and get it nice and tight. Then we'll bring our drain here and we'll feed that down into the trap first, and then now we'll line it up. Line it up nice and straight here with the garbage disposal, this plate. And may have to move this here. Yeah, there we go. Adjust it just a little bit so it lines up perfect. You want it to be a nice straight seal once it's tightened down. You don't want anything leaking. So I'm going to hand tighten these in here. And I'm actually going to go and tighten all this up, and then we'll be back. There we go. So everything has been attached. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that everything is secure. Make sure everything's tight. So it's tight up there. Nice and secure. There we go. Solid. All the hoses, all the drains are all nice and tight. Nothing can leak out. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the plug for the garbage disposal. We're going to plug it in here into the air switch. Get that plugged in. And then we'll take our air switch, take this plug, and I'm going to plug it into the dishwasher receptacle. Come back here and plug it in. There we go. And now everything is connected. And as we pull back here, just to kind of recap, you can see here, we have the air button here for the air switch mounted on the wall. We have the box right there. We have the garbage disposal going into the box, and then we have the box connected to the receptacle for the dishwasher. And we have all of our plumbing is all tight and secure as we've checked. That's how it all looks completed. So now if we head up here to the top, here's our new drain assembly. You can see that in place. So now it has the garbage disposal drain assembly. So that's in place. Everything has been sealed and siliconed in. Let's fire it up. Okay, make sure there's no leaks. And let's try this. Okay, you can hear it's on. And that turns it off. Nothing leaking. Turn the water off. All right, well, that wraps it up. Just installing a plug-in garbage disposal. The good thing with those, they're fairly inexpensive. The whole thing for the kit, the garbage disposal, all that, and the kit, I mean the air switch, It was 85 bucks through Amazon, but as mentioned already, I'll have links down in the description if you want to pick it up for yourself. I hope that this video was informative for you and helped you out. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to send me any questions and comments. I would love to hear from you. Check out some of my other videos, how-to videos, do-it-yourself things around the house. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you next time.